So one of the cardinal symptoms of Parkinson's is rigidity, and can come in the form of cogwheel rigidity or lead pipe rigidity. But today we're going to look at something that I see in a lot of Parkinson's boxers is actually the trunk rigidity, which can impact on a person's ability to turn over in bed or reach up or across the midline. And this, through activity analysis, we can identify in someone's boxing stance when I get them to throw a punch, either a jab or a right hand, they'll be throwing it very much just from the arm or the shoulder and will not be rotating from the midline. And especially able to see this, we're especially able to see this when they're throwing the hooks as well. So they can come out more like that rather than rotating. So yeah, it's a good way to identify it in someone with Parkinson's. Everyone with Parkinson's is different, but this is a symptom that I see in a lot of people that come to the groups. So ways that we can combat that without having to consciously think, oh, I'm doing this to work on the trunk rigidity, we can make it a fun exercise. The first couple I'll just show you that aren't so fun. So those could be something like stretching the arms right out, targeting that posture as well, pushing the chest out, and then bringing one hand to meet the other and trying to lift that heel off the floor, and then stretching out again and working that dexterity as well. So opening up the hands and then twisting it across the midline and then stretching the middle. So trying to bring those shoulder blades together, getting a bit of posture work in there as well, and reaching across. Another one could be lunging out in front, and we're going to work on a bit of coordination as well. So keeping the hands up, lunging out, and then rotating, twisting, and punching out to the side. Targets that balance as well. So a big lunging step, big stretch out of the hips, and then rotate and punch across. So there, lunge and punch. So yeah, those are two good movements to incorporate into the warm-up. But then we've got the boxing stance. Okay, we'll try and cover it quickly, but we've got, for example, the slipping. So we can imagine we're fighting Nikolai Valuev, 7'2" Russian giant. He takes a lot of punishment in these classes because we've got to keep our heads up as opposed to chins down, and we've got to look up at the target, and we've got to slip inside his big long arms. So we've got to get close to him, and by doing so we're really targeting that axial mobility, that twisting and turning, working some of those muscles that may have switched off or atrophied, and yet people come away feeling they've had a good core workout as well. So we're slipping inside those punches, all right, and we could even step with the slip as well. So we're working on that dual tasking. So stepping, all right, we're getting close to that opponent, making a miss, getting in a position to make him pay. So after we've got in close, all right, we might want to throw a punch with it. We might put a roll, okay, punching on the way in, and then when we are in close, we're going to work on those twisting, getting the power into those punches. We could put some shovel hooks in, dipping underneath his swings again and throwing down to his body. There, bang. And then we could come, once we've dropped his arm, we could come over the top with a Golovkin hook. So again, thinking about that rotation, really twisting, over-exaggerating that twisting movement, okay? And we may, if we're running out of ideas, similar to how Ricky Hatton had to throw when he fought a chap called Carlos Mauser, big tall person, he leapt in with a swinging left hook. All right, not something I'd advise a boxer to do, but it seemed to work, and I think he actually dropped him with a big left hook. So we could, if we give up hope, we're not having any success, we could dip down and then swing with a big left hook. All right, that's if you run out of options there. Okay, so sticking to those shovel hooks and those Golovkin hooks over the top, all right, and then really twisting into those power punches. And that is an idea for you to combat that trunk rigidity without having to do a boring, monotonous sort of exercise, and have a bit of fun in combating those symptoms. Of course, we're also working the speed of movement, balance, that agility as well. So it's all going to be good fun.